Flirt FM, Galway's alternative radio station.
You're listening to the Galway Gamer on Flirt FM 101.3. My name is Eoghan Murphy and I am the Galway Gamer, and I'm actually on location at Dublin Comic Con in Dublin City here at the Convention Centre with quite a legend. In fact, this person is the voice of your childhood. This person has been voices in Digimon, Dinosaur King, we're talking Yu-Gi-Oh! Over on the video game side of things, we got the likes of Advance Wars, Fire Emblem, Tekken 6, but you know them as Ash Ketchum from Pokémon. The one and only Veronica Taylor. Veronica, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you. What a lovely introduction. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. It's amazing to have you here on the show.
Oh my gosh, it's an honor for me, and thank you for popping into Dublin Comic Con to meet up with me.
Pleasure. Pleasure's all mine on that. It really is.
Thank you.
Now, well, you've worked both in traditional animation, mostly on the anime side of things, and also video games. Mm-hmm. What is the main difference there through the recording process between the game side of things and classic animation?
Yeah, I would say when you're going for animation, you have prelay where you're doing the voices and then it's animated. Mm-hmm. So you go through the script kind of radio play style where you're just doing the whole story or you just do your lines. And then you have dubbing where you just pop in only for your lines and you have to fit it to flap. So there's a difference there in terms of the creativity that you can have there's a very thick boundary around what you can do when the face is already there. Mm-hmm. And then on the other side, for video games, you usually just see your lines also. So then you're imagining what the character is doing, and you have a bunch of running and jumping and falling, and that's just in your mind. So all of it is somewhat similar. I would say prelay animation and video games are similar in that you're imagining the whole thing, mm-hmm. whereas dubbing, you see the face and you fit the flap.
Okay, yeah,
so that's, there's definite similarities between them. I would say what is the same is that you have to bring your full idea of what the character is and how they would react, and then try to fit it into however you need to for each project. They're breaking down Dublin Comic Con as we speak, so if anybody hears things banging or whatever, don't worry.
Yeah, there will be a wee bit annoying, but
things are happening around us.
We'll survive though. We will get by.
It's renegade podcasting here.
Well, let's talk about your role as Leo in Tekken 6.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm a big Tekken fan, one of my favourite fighting franchises. And you did Leo in Tekken 6, but it was actually a male who did Leo in Tekken 7. Now, Leo, to the best of my knowledge, is the only non-binary fighter in that particular franchise. Did you approach their voice from a different angle knowing this?
I don't think so. Even in what did I do? In Tsukasa Okino is another character I played that is non-binary as well. Mm-hmm. And I think there's I approach every character as human. Mm-hmm. So I think we all, regardless of what our outer shell is, the inside is the same. So it's what drives you. What is it that you want to accomplish? What brings you down? All of those things it's just human. So mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever approached any character from what they look like on the outside.
Fantastic.
Actually, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, let's move on then to the big one, and that is Pokémon.
Yes.
That is the one that you're best known from. And when Pokémon first launched in both the US and here in Europe, it would have been, I believe, 1998. September
yes,
1998.
That's right.
But prior to that, the Pokémon games had already been out in Japan.
Right.
They followed the cartoons over here, but they predated the cartoons over in Japan. Were you aware that this was a video game adaptation going in?
I had no idea.
No?
No, the only thing we knew was that we were called in to kind of match vocally what mm-hmm. existed in a tiny clip of a cartoon. So the fact that it was Pokemon meant nothing to me, at least, because I certainly wasn't on the internet very much. In 1998, I didn't really have a computer at that time, so there was no way to look it up. And I had no idea that it was attached to video games. Even once we started recording the show, I didn't know that.
Okay.
Personally, others may have, but I didn't know.
That's fair. And I think many Pokemon fans were the same due to the fact that the cartoon was launched over here prior to the video games.
Yeah,
so
coming in, yeah.
A lot of people thought the video games were based on the anime as opposed to the other way around.
That's right.
So that makes quite a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, Ash as a character then, he's been kicking it around now for quite some time. I believe 98, 22, we're talking 25 years.
Yes.
Now, he's recently been retired from the show.
Yes.
He had his final episode this year, I believe.
Yeah.
Now, I've been following you for quite some time on social media, and when you got the news, you seemed a little shook just coming across social media. Now, could you tell me how that felt, how that hit you?
Well, I found out, so we were all replaced after season 8 on Pokemon. So any news, even when I worked on the show, we didn't know what was coming up at all until we got in the studio that day. So even on that episode where, for instance, where Ash, Misty, and Brock parted ways a long time ago, none of us knew that that was even coming. Or when Brock left at one point and Tracy came in, none of us knew that Tracy was coming. None of us knew if Brock was coming back. Everything happened in the moment. So, especially being off the show, I have no idea where things are going. But I guess I just thought Ash would go on with Pokemon forever. So I learned about it on Twitter that his story arc was ending. And yeah, I have to say it left me a little unmoored, as they say. I just wasn't expecting it, although I should have been. I mean, he's been on the road a long time, and there's no reason why he wouldn't go on to something else. But it surprised me that it was ending, and also that they are kind of rebooting it with different characters. And to me, Pokemon is Ash and Pikachu. It's, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see where the show goes and what happens next.
And have you watched his final episode?
I have not. I have not yet. No.
It's a
have you?
tearjerker.
Yes, that's what I've heard. I have. I just can't bring myself to do it yet.
Not a dry eye in the house.
Yeah, but I will. I'll sit down and do it. We've been traveling a lot for conventions and work, and so my daughter and I have been kind of, I don't know, enmeshed in many things. And we're working on a podcast that goes back and looks at the first season of Pokemon. So we're kind of in the past in a bit, and I don't think I can bring myself yet to look forward to the now and see the reality. But I will get there. I will get there.
No, that's great. That's great. Well, let's talk about Ash himself then. As we mentioned, on the road a long time, 25 years for Ash.
Yeah.
He's lucky he's still 10.
I know. We're all still 10 in some ways.
We're all still 10, we are.
Yeah.
Now, he's obtained his goal. He's become the Pokemon Master, you know what I mean? It was worldwide news there a year or two ago when he won the Pokemon Championship. But it did take him 25 years to get there. What do you think the takeaway, the moral of the story is there for kids?
I think you just don't ever give up on your dreams. I mean, I don't think there's any one person who could say, maybe there's one in a gazillion that can say, oh yeah, I thought, let's do this, and then I made it big, and now I'm doing something else. Every single one of us has had to start at square one, work our way through. You have so many setbacks, and you still have to find a way to move forward. And I think that's Ash's life, it's our life. You know, we have to persevere, and through him we see that your dreams can be achieved. You can meet your goals, but it does take time. And fortunately, you can surround yourself with people who are wonderful, who challenge you, who bring out your best. And like Ash, we must do the same. And that helps us to achieve our goals. And at some point we'll get there. But really, I think the last thing you learn from him too is that it's not just the goal, but it's how you get there and how he kind of wound around and through to get to the final point. I mean, his story is remarkable, as is the story of each of our lives because of how we too wind around. So
fantastic,
I think we learn that from him. We live our lives, we live Ash's life. It's a journey and an adventure.
Well, a lot of people have taken that journey, that adventure with them throughout their lives, to a point where I believe, I could be slightly off, but I believe as far as the entire Pokemon IP goes now, is the most popular IP on the planet.
Wow, isn't that amazing?
If I'm not mistaken, that includes the video games, the anime,
all
the
of
Pokemon
it.
centers around the world,
Right.
a whole lot. I believe it's actually the most popular on the planet. So it's gotten a lot of people on board over the years, and a lot of those people then have also grown with Ash throughout the years. So how are the fans now compared to, say, 1998?
Well, in 1998, and probably for the first 10 years, let's say, they were all children. So I didn't have any adults coming to see me at a convention. It was all kids who were 10, mostly 10, not even 6 years old. 10 years old coming by, and I've seen many of those 10-year-olds now with their own children. So I think it has grown in that in the beginning you get your first cards, you see the first movie, you maybe get your first video games and you're playing it, you pop out to a convention, you see some of the cast members. But now it's grown into, I'm bringing this very special VHS tape, I'm bringing my Pokédex, I'm bringing this first card that I got, and I'm bringing my children, or my best friend, or my spouse, or my grandmother, my mother, now it's more of a community, it's more nostalgia for kind of the feeling that you got when you woke up at 6:30 in the morning to watch the show, or you ran home from school, you got up on Saturday, before you did your chores, you watched Pokémon. That's what we all remember, and thinking about Pokemon now allows you to kind of go back in time and then bring your kids along back in time, and now you all move forward together. So it's changed in that. I think the love for Pokemon, or what that adventure brings out in you, is the same. But now everybody coming is a lot older. Not a lot, I don't mean it in a bad way, but, is older to appreciate that freedom that Pokemon gave them. The freedom to be yourself, and which is something we all have to hold on to, which is, I think, why Ash remains 10. Because when you're 10, you can do anything. You can be anything. And thinking about how you were at 10 kind of refreshes that in yourself, I think. So that's one of the reasons I think it's held on so long, that it allows you to be you through whatever age you are. And
just to finish up then, once again, just like the rest of us, Ash has had his ups and downs throughout the years. And I'd imagine you have also.
Oh yes, haven't we all? And I'm not just talking about all of us coming out of this lockdown COVID period and into this new unknown. But yeah, we've all had a lot of ups and downs. So,
well, when it comes to Pokemon then, what was or is the high point of your career?
It's coming to conventions that's the high point. I don't want to start crying, but it's like there's something amazing to meeting people at my little table. My daughter travels with me, so my family comes out to meet your family at the table, and feeling like I already know people before I've met them because we have Pokemon in common. The fact that I actually do know people because I've seen them through the years. I never in my wildest dreams imagined that I would get the chance to travel around the world and talk about something that means so much to me and also means so much to others, and we connect through that, and then we find we have so much else in common. But this is the high point of anyone's career, to see beyond the job and really get to the heart of the community that Pokemon has created for all of us, and to be a part of that has been incredible and continues to be incredible.
Fantastic.
And look, we've met through it. I mean, it's crazy stuff, isn't it?
This has been absolutely fantastic, Veronica.
Thank you.
It's been a touching conversation.
Oh gosh, well thanks. I just also want to say you're the best, and Ash would say, "Go away, gamer, I choose you. Keep up the good work."
Amazing. Thank you.
And this has been great crack, so thanks a lot.
Thank you.
101.3 Flirt FM.